The countdown to the first days of the Formula One season in 2026 continues, and today is Friday, 27th of February 2026, and as of today, to the Sunday, the 8th March of 2026, we have 9 days to go, and I am extremely excited about the start of the Formula One season in 2026. This is because there are quite a lot that is expected to happen over the course of the season, and that will not happen until the first race takes place. This race is going to take place at Albert Park, Melbourne in Australia, and that has always been a historical experience when it comes to the start of a Formula One season. And today being a Friday, what this means is that next week at the same time we'll be talking about a different thing. We'll be talking about FP1 and FP2, meaning teams will actually be getting on track to actually start preparing for both the qualifying that will come on Saturday as well as the full race stream on Sunday. So the kind of conversation that teams are going to have next week is going to be very different from what we have had or what they have probably been doing during testing. And you can expect that a lot is going to happen during that first race weekend, especially during the race on Sunday, because that will be the first race under the new regulations where teams have new cars and drivers are going to be on track seeking to have a full race under these new cars that they have just unveiled and have tested during the pre-season testing in Bahrain. So there are quite a number of questions that will require to be answered so that then we can have some clarity on how everything is going to be like and how the pecking order will look like. Are teams going to finish the race? Are there teams that will not be able to complete the race? There are rumors or conversations where some people feel that a team like Aston Martin is just going to Australia just to fulfill the requirement for them to race. If they had a choice, they probably would have taken a little bit longer to continue working on their car, which indicated having some problems, or at least the struggle during the checkdown in Barcelona as well as pre-season testing in Bahrain. Equally, you can also assume that some of the teams that are considered to be the top teams this year were actually sandbagging during pre-season testing, which means they did not show their true performance. We do not know their true pace, and that will only be revealed during this first race in Australia, where they will have no choice but to actually be at their best, to perform, to win the race and start accruing or at least securing points towards either drivers or constructors championship. What this means is that the first race in Australia is going to be the race where we are going to see the true performance from Mercedes, from Ferrari, from Red Bull, from McLaren, as well as other teams that are considered to be in a better position to be ahead in the midfield. And here I'm talking of Alpine, Haas, and Williams, among others. So it is exciting that this race is coming up, and I personally cannot wait for the season to start. I am excited. I hope you are also excited. And if this is the first time that you and I are meeting, I am Joe, and I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. The Australian Grand Prix in 2026 is definitely going to be a very exciting proposition, and this is because the teams are going there at least with some data on how they performed during the pre-season testing, but it's still early days, so the teams are learning how these cars are working. The drivers are getting used to the cars and all the tools that are available to them when it comes to driving, managing energy, as well as overtaking and cornering. So there is quite a lot of new things that both teams and the drivers need to run to be able to extract the maximum performance from whatever package that they will have arrived at Albert Park with in Australia. And a very interesting addition to this kind of anticipation is that we have learned that the customer teams that are using Mercedes power units are going to get the most updated spec of the power unit during that first race in Australia. That means that whatever performance that they had during the pre-season testing will be improved or will be better. And equally, I would assume that the Works team or the Mercedes F1 team will still have a better package going into this first race in Australia. And that means we still do not know how the performance of each team is, because even others are arguing that teams were sandbagging during pre-season testing. So you can expect quite a huge difference between the kind of performance or the numbers that were coming out of pre-season testing as compared to the kind of numbers that we are also going to witness during the first days or the first days weekend in Australia. If you have enjoyed watching this particular video, watch the video on your screen right now. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not, and I'm going to see you in my next video.